Okay, so here I'll show you how to put all the pieces together and how to run your machine. Okay, so first things first, let's just take this out of the bag here. Okay, untwist. Okay, so this end here goes into the back of your machine there, like that, okay? So then this end here goes into the front of your critical. So you'll see on the front of your critical supply there are 3 plug holes. One says liner, one says shader, one says foot. Okay, the foot is for your foot switch. It's where this switch goes into. Okay, so the reason why it has 2 holes for liner and shader, it's because traditional body artists, people who create, artwork on the body, they tend to run one machine to outline and one machine to shade. So it just means to say that this critical supply gives you an option to have 2 machines on the table. The liner and the shader, the ports, they have nothing to do with each other. It just really should say port 1 and port 2. So it's just to give people the availability to run 2 machines. Okay, so you're just going to run the 1 machine. So you can, depending on where you plug your RCA cable into, depending if you plug it into liner or shader, it will depend on whether or not this dial controls your tattoo device, or if this dial and this button control your tattoo device. So let's just first start by putting it in the first hole, which says liner, okay? So we'll put it in there. Then go ahead and unwind your power cord. The one downfall of this machine, and I'll admit it, is that the power cord is quite short. So you'll always want to use an extension cord when you're working with this machine, unless you're very, very close to a plug, but I doubt that you will be. So I'm just plugging this in, and then here in the back of the device there is a hole there. You'll see that the power comes on, but there's also a power button here, on and off, okay? But the power comes on there. So now we're plugged into the first hole, so we should, let me just see here. Okay, so you're gonna have to play around with it a little bit because you have to sort of decide what position the switch has to be in. So the first thing I would suggest that you do is, before you turn your machine on, this black button, push it in, okay? And then this button on the end of your switch, it's a matter of whether or not you have to flip it up or down. Okay, I don't know if you can hear that, but the machine is running. And this is going to be the dial which controls the speed when you're plugged into this first hole here. So up, more volts. The higher you run it, the louder it gets. And lower, obviously less volts. Okay, so if you wanted to turn it off, if you wanted to run it on the other side, you're just going to move it over to here. You're going to turn off the liner hole by opening up this button, and then you can turn your switch on. And now we're being controlled over here. Okay, so you'll turn it off here. If you want to move it back over on the other side, here, plug it in, and that's already running. Okay, when you insert your needles, you just put your needles in the top and you turn them clockwise, just a half a turn, and they'll seat in there quite well. In order to make your needles longer or hang more, you can twist the machine. So you turn the machine to bring the hang out, or you move the machine anti-clockwise to bring the hang back in. So there's your quick tutorial on how to use my Equanime universal rotary machine. Thank you.